Hi there, Ddraig here, and now we're going to have a look at the changes SFO Grimhammer 2 has on Chaos campaign after the recent Order of Mayhem update. I've also created a guide on Bretonnia campaign, which you can see in the top right hand corner. Also, there's a unit overview as well, which you can check out. In this video, I'll take you through the new Chaos Fortress mechanic, then the significant changes in the technological tree. I look at the changes to the Horde camp. At first, I'll show you a couple of changes for the Korok and Sigvald skill tree. And to round it off, I'll load up a Chaos campaign to show you how my playthrough is going. Okay, I'm so far into my SFO Chaos campaign with Sigvald, and I've managed to break my way into the Empire, and I've taken Middenheim. And this is a new feature of this version of SFO. For Chaos, you can actually capture them and create a Chaos Fortress. So I've done that, and I've created this one at Middenheim. So let's have a closer look at what you can build there. And we'll start with the right hand side, because the left hand side is a bit more interesting. So let's go with the right hand side first. So you've got all the standard mode advanced military recruitment, which you would see in your Horde. Now you can still do all your Horde growth. You do still have a Horde to grow. You still recruit your armies that way. You can still select a particular Chaos God. That has not changed. So you can still do that on the run. So if you just kit this place alone, maybe even garrison. This is the garrison currently, by the way. Chaos cultists, 10 of 5 each, and a 2 Forsaken at level 2. And this is where you get your Chaos cultists from, by the way. So as soon as you take it, I've already upgraded this to level 2, and of course it grows exactly the same way as any normal city would go. So back on track. So you can upgrade your settlements and get all these units. And as you can see, there's no Chaos Morders or anything like that. That has to be done through your Horde army. So let's go down here. So we can make some walls up. These are pretty much all the standard things you can do with most garrisons, most buildings. But now you can do it as Chaos for the first time. So just add in a few more. Just that protect but it didn't. Oh, and on the subject of that, you can do this in only certain places in the Warhammer world. So I'll just quickly go through them. So you got this is Middenheim, and you got Carolingia in Bretonnia. So that's the 2 old world ones. In the Badlands, Carrick 8 Peaks you can take over. In the Southlands, it's Kemri. In Urthan is the Gaian Vale and Vows Anvil, can both be Chaos Fortress. Northern Nagaroth is the frozen city. In Nagarand is Quarkorond, and in Yustria, Hexiato and Zyanhapek. That's probably not how you spell it, say it even, but it's close enough. So go take your Horde army, take this, and you can have one of these buildings, same building tree in that area as well. So we've done the Fortress one, the defense. So you can have this to increase the growth. You can go down this tree, as I've started, to get extra income and magical item drop. So that gets up to quite a lot of money. And if you're wondering, this does bring in quite a bit of cash at the start. So it's 200 at the moment. So this can actually increase quite rapidly. Next tree, Chaos Infrastructure. So equipped hovels, so income from cities, so that's all regions. And income from all buildings is profit, so it's all your cities. So if I build another one in, say, Northern Nagaroth, so the frozen city, this will increase the income from that one as well. Next, we have Maraud Arena, so this just increases your capacity and adds a bit more income, and also adds a bit of unit experience. Also, I don't think I showed you that. So that's the top tier of that tree. Next, Throws. So this is if you've got vessels. Now I've got a campaign which you've seen a bit, and I've already got quite a good bit of income coming from my vessels, and this will just increase that across time. And of course, as you can see, goes more upkeep, very handy, and that's the top tier of that. And finally, you can assign it to a various shrine or altar. I apologise. And you can add that, and that'll just increase various buffs to your army. And that is pretty much what a Chaos Fortress looks like. And now, of course, is the first one. So, I've started building this, and I've then decided maybe it's not a good idea at this particular point. So what does this do? Well, as you can see there, it starts the warp portal under construction. So, at some point, you can start this off, or like I'm going to demolish this, and you see later, I've demolished this, and I'm building up the rest of this tree first. So, I've done that, and quite a lot of debuffs, so you got a lot of upkeep, diplomatic relations with everybody, not that surprising, let's be fair. Beastmen like you, and the Norseguns like you. And this, now if you notice, this takes 25 turns to build. This creates a warp portal, and if you remember my unit video, this brings out the legendary hero, and possibly the hardest hitting hero of all the heroes in SFO's version of the game. As you can see, it's got a ludicrous upkeep of 1,350, which is pretty much half an army, and his stats are ridiculous. As you can see, it's advisable to have this portal open, or if you don't, it'll be much weaker. And there you go. So that's kind of an end game type of scenario for Chaos. Quite interesting, and very, very fun. So there you go. So that is Chaos Fortress. Okay, let's talk about some of the changes in SFO. So this, I am currently playing as Vanilla. I am currently playing as Chaos, obviously. And this is their tech tree. It's a bit, well, yes, let's face it, it's a bit meh. It's one of those things they need to go back and redo in current updates. But I'm guessing they're probably going to ignore Chaos until Warhammer 3, where they got more than likely have a big change to how Chaos works with demons and things like that. So anyway, as a comparison, this is what you get as Archeon's technology tree, either Chaos. So all the usual little bits and bobs here and there. So let's go and have a look at what SFO has done. So yeah, this is SFO's tech tree. As you can see, it's a bit different. By a lot. There's a lot to go through here. So, this is right at the start. This is just a brand new campaign with SFO activated, just FSO mod. So first of all, the main choices. Chaos Undivided, Chaos Divided. And as you can see, if you get Chaos Undivided, you get those abilities. Chaos Divided, yeah, these abilities. Oh, missed that, sorry. There we go. Me attack, defense, and leadership, but upkeep plus 10% all units. So as I'll go around as I'm talking, and you can see there's various gods to dedicate your army to now, and plus and minuses to both ways. Don't have to do this right at the start. You could, like I actually didn't in my small campaign, which you'll see a bit later on. So there's the Path to Ruination, and from there, this is more of the mini tech tree you could see in the first one. Well, a part of it. So you unlock the first one, you get some various buffs. Second one more expensive, etc., etc. And if you go right down the bottom here, you get the really big buff skills. Very expensive, as you can see. And we have the various dedicated. So this is over Sunesh, I believe. Pestilence. So you got the Nurgle there. Yeah, that's Corns. So as you can see, if you go down this tree, you're going to get upkeep plus 5% for other god-specific units. So it just allows you to tailor to what type of how you want to follow each campaign. So each campaign you could dedicate completely to Nurgle, say, or completely to Zinch, and just concentrate on those, and all your armies concentrate on Zinch. Then next playthrough, play completely differently, play in Chaos Undivided. It's up to you. And this allows you for a lot of variation in the Chaos campaign, which, as we know, is salary hacking. As you might have guessed, looking at this tree, SFO and Venris himself is a big Chaos fan, so he's obviously put a lot of love into this, and it's turned out really nice. It's just really good, interesting campaign now. So I'll just quickly go through all these. And there we go. And this becomes all clear in a minute when I'll now take you through the next part of the trees. Okay, as another comparison, we can go through vanilla chaos as Archaon. So this is the standard horde mechanic for chaos. As you see him as Archaon here, and it's a bit bland. Let's just say that. And I'm just recording this and the tech tree and actually not bad. It's not bad, the Archaon skill tree, to be fair. I've seen worse. I think they've had some updates to that skill tree, but anyway, this is the horde tree, and as you can see, a bit bland. There's a bit, well, all you're basically doing is getting units. It's pretty much every single thing here is units bar the amount of blades, it reduces upkeep. So it's a bit uninteresting, really, which is pretty much the Chaos campaign as a whole. And as I said in one of the previous comparisons, that they are probably going to redo all this with Chaos with Warhammer 3. Now we come to the building tree. Now this is a bit more interesting than the last one. It's got the same building, so it's pretty much, this bit is the same. So I'm hiding now with my cursor. That's pretty much the same. But you do have an extra area now. Now you can dedicate your nomadic band, your horde. That's what the word I was looking for, horde, to a particular chaos god. So you've got Khorne, we got Nurgle, Suresh, and of course Zinch at the end. Now if you've seen my campaign with my unit comparison video, I go through all the units, all the new units, and these are the new units I go through. Sons of the Last Plague, Guardians of Dark Prince Desires, Seers of Change, and I missed the Khorne people, and I don't want to annoy the Khorne people. But as you might have seen, if you do this, you're going to be, there are only one shrine devoted to a single god. So as soon as you put this in, these are automatically locked out, and then you go through that tree. You can remove this, as far as I know, as a demolish it and start a new one, but then you lock to that tree, etc., etc. Other than that, everything else is exactly the same. But this just gives you your horde a different flavour. I think the best phrase is. And you also go down the income way, so some way to get more income and horde growth for that part of the tree. Okay, as you can see, this is Prince Sigvald the Magnificent's skill tree, and this is vanilla. So I just thought I'd show you vanilla before I show you SFOs, just as a quick comparison. So the usual things. Got a self-obsessed, because Prince Sigvald. And here's just a few of his abilities. I'm sure if you've played Chaos and Vanilla, you've seen all these before, so I'm only going to just point out some of the things in there. And we're now going to jump over to SFO and see how it can compare to them. Okay, so that was Vanilla, and this is SFO's version of Prince Sigvald. So only a few changes to talk about here. On the right hand side of the skill tree. And first of all, we have Strike First. So as you can see, when he's at rank 10, you get these buffs if you want them. Melee defense is a bit yakking, but weapon strength very, very high. And we've got Sovereign of the North, so just something to buff the order units. And this bit is completely new, so let's have a quick look for each one. So Mirror, this is a bit of a thing with Prince Sigvald. He loved his own reflection, and as you can see though, it's minus 100% melee attack cannot move. So the Hex sort of stops them because they're dazzled by his beauty, which is quite amusing, but never mind. But it's a general upkeep to plus 15% for everybody else. So, well, he Chaos Swords and Chaos Sorcerers. So there is a bit of a downside to it, but he is that pretty, so I think you'll take it. Perfect Sun, Perfect Vigor. Speaks for itself. Bit of a leadership buff for all your armies. To your current army, even. Minus 50%. So, pretty much very difficult to get any enemy hero action on this army. And Passion and Love and Decadence. So speed plus 10% and charge bonus plus 10%, which is very nice indeed. I like that buff because, as I'm sure you're aware, Chaos is quite a slow army, and a bit of a speed buff is always good, and a charge bonus is even better. So there you are. That's the small little tweaks to the Sigvald's personal skill tree. So let's move on. Get you a quick look at this skill tree, just a bit of a refresher before I show you the new SFO. All the standard things, various campaign buffs, all the usual stuff. There's Mie tree, all familiar with that, and of course some buffs to the army he's with, and then some campaign buffs at the bottom here. You've seen it all before. I don't need to look at it. You can go on it too much. I just wanted to show, just as a quick compare to what you're going to get in SFO. Speaking of, let's show that up. What has SFO done to Mr. Sunnyter here? Let's have a closer look. So it's mainly towards the end of his trees. If you remember, he had the Sunnyter, but now he has these abilities, and he has the Shadow Mountain and Ravager these. So let's go through it individually. So we've got the Destroyer. So that's basically when you're taking out some cities. Yep, things are not going to go well for anybody staying in their cities. We've got Storm. Big hit points for himself, but who cares about the other units apparently? We'll just pay him more, that's fine. Trample Mortals. Major buffs to him, and debuffs for the army, and I presume it's going to be the same, yep. Big resistance, physical resistance for Korik, but who cares about the old army? They can have reduced deep melee defense instead. Shadow of the Mountain, public order -7, 6 and animal preference. Always good to spend that chaos. Ravager, even better to slow them down. And Chaos Ground, speaks for itself. Extra attrition, always good to weaken them before they get into range of your armies. So there's Korik. A couple of small changes. There wasn't many changes in Archeon, so I didn't really bother doing a video on that part. Just so you know. So that is Korik Sunnyter's SFO's skill tree. Okay, so I've loaded up my current campaign with Chaos. This is SFO, so what we're going to look at is how I'm getting on and a bit see how the campaign is going. So let's go to the overall map, zoom out a bit, and I can tell you what progress I made. Now, so as you know, I start up here, or here to be more technically true. So I came down here and I decided to raise this as my vessel, which has turned out to be a very good idea. So if I zoom in here for a second, this is one of my vessels, and apparently they like flying units. Can't blame them, I suppose. They really like flying units. Okay, that's weird. So I decided I was going to go down here, and I thought no. I wanted to try to get this Chaos Fortress. One, obviously to show you how it works, and two, because I just fancy pushing right into Kislev. So I raised those myself. They might be recaptured. I haven't been keeping an eye on it. Came through via Kislev, all the way here. Sneaked past these. And when I say sneaked, I got attacked a few times. Sneaked past here. I camped out down here for a couple of turns. Nope. Sorry, I camped down here for a couple of turns. And I went straight past Altdorf. Very quickly. I might actually went that way. Yeah, I did. I went that way. Running Altdorf, back through there, past Kallenberg, past Voicemund. Might have raised that on the way past. And here we are. So let's have a quick look of how we're doing with my Chaos Fortress, which you might have just seen, or might have watched as part of my video. So, as you can see, at the time I was making this landmark, and I decided to stop doing that. One, because my upkeep was pretty awful at that point, and I was costing me a fortune to run my army. So I decided to ignore that for now. Refuge from Chaos. I was desperate for cash, so I've gone down this route. And I also built the Frows to get my vassal. As you can see, as I showed you before, I had one vassal. I've only just got another vassal. I'll go through my armies in a minute. And I have just taken on a Skaven as my vassal as well. And I am getting a nice 1,353 cash from my vassal, which is a very, very handy buff. So, Where's Prince Sigvald? Here's Prince Sigvald. So this is my main army at the moment. So let's have a quick look at the army as it stands. Mostly my original units. I've added the Mirror Guard because in SFO, because this was linked completely with Prince Sigvald, this was his personal bodyguard, you get these for free, upkeep, so it's a no-brainer. You need these in his army. Then you got some of his Chosen, and 2 units of Chaos Warriors. Putting out some Marauders, and then I've got the Chaos Cultists because they're cheap. Not actually as cheap as Chaos Marauders, by the way, but cheap. Just a bit of chaff in the front. And then we've got some Order Horsemen. Some Hounds of Decay, a superb unit. As you can see here, it's actually a bit different to your standard unit of Chaos Warhounds. This has got some extra attacks and they're much tougher. Really good unit. I love this unit. And then got some Chaos Spawn, which I've had from the start. So that's my current army. I lost my cannon, which I'm still annoyed about. I lost it by I was taking over. I might have actually been taking over Middenheim. I was trying to destroy the gate, and I yucked away for a bit. Didn't realise he was getting attacked, and the towers destroyed it. Well, I wasn't yucking, so whoops. My other army, which I've only really yucked a bit at, is this one. Now I have got a hero, which I'm hoping will be back soon from injury, if I can actually see that. Where is he? Here it is. There he is. Character's wounded, but he's got a cheap cheap upkeep for demons for Forsaken. So that's why I've had him in here. I was going to have another 2 units of Demon Forsaken in that army. So this is a very small army. I've only just started to build it, and I've only just got this massive increase in cash. So my current plan is to use this as my base. I mean, hassled by who are these? The Austrian, who are hassling me constantly. It's about the 3rd time they've attacked me. But this is quite a strong garrison now, with this speeding the charge. 2 units Forsaken, 2 champs, 5 units of Chaos Cultists with spears and maces, separate, and 2 units of Chaos Bonds. So that's a very solid army. So that is how my Chaos army is going. My current plan is, and I've been enjoying this campaign quite a lot, it's actually quite challenging. And as a side note, in SFO, in my campaigns, every 50 turns, the AI gets a buff. And there's a buff for cash and a buff on unit cost. This is trying to balance out how the mod works. Or how, because towards the end of a campaign, I haven't got that, this is the farthest I've got into any of my campaigns at the moment. It becomes easy. I'm sure you've Steam or Vanilla yourself. You get to a certain stage and then you're just unstoppable. Pretty much in any particular race. So this just gives the AI a bit of a buff. And every 50 turns it gives it a bit more of a buff just to keep it more interesting, keep it a bit more challenging. Which is a very good idea and I'd be interested to see how that works. But anyway, that is my Chaos campaign at the current. And I think I might continue this because it's quite a lot of fun. And I shall now end this part of the video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.